Hey everybody, I am Kim Kalp and I'm so excited to be with you here today in partnership with the Capital Factory to help you leverage your LinkedIn and take it to the next level. So I am so thankful that you woke up this morning and said, you know what? I don't look that great on LinkedIn, and today's the day that I do something about it. So thank you for waking up and deciding that today was the day you're going to change something about your LinkedIn. It is the perfect time to jump in, to get dirty, and to go all in on this platform. I am kind of a collaborative person, so I want this to be a conversation between me and you. What does that mean? It means the chat box is live. It means say hello. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you're like, that part didn't make sense, can you go over it again? We're here, we're live together. So tell me, and in real time, we will solve all of your questions and queries as we go through how to leverage LinkedIn to the maximum potential that you can. So just so I can get an idea, and even if you're watching this on record, I want you to still ask yourself this very important question, which is, when was the last time I actually edited or really updated, maybe even logged in to LinkedIn? And I've asked this question to hundreds of people over the last couple months, and let me tell you, the answers are all over the place. So far, the record is 3 years. I know that it's a little shocking. It's a little taking it back because you're like, wow, 3 years? You haven't updated, you haven't touched, you haven't done anything in 3 years. We'll see if somebody here today can beat 3 years. I kind of doubt it. That one seems to be like the far and away winner. Usually more than average, it's 3 months, it's 6 months, it's maybe 4 months. It's kind of in that zone, but usually it's not daily. Usually it's not weekly, and sadly, it is not even monthly. But that's why we're here today, because we are going to change all of that. We are going to learn how to leverage the power of LinkedIn to help you, to help your business, and to help you propel your career forward in a new and meaningful way. So I'm really excited you decided to come in and do this with me. Normally the question when I talk about leveraging LinkedIn or I talk about updating LinkedIn is like, ugh, but why? Why do I have to do this? Why does it matter? Why does it affect me? And I get it. For some people, it's really confusing. Like, why does this matter? Why should I be paying attention to this? I have a million other things going on in my life, in my business, at work. I don't know. This social platform seems to be like the bottom of the list, the last thing I check in on. I'm going to show you why that's not exactly true. Let's imagine that you're going to a meeting or joining a conference call or a Zoom meeting, and there's a couple other people in the meeting with you, and for the most part, you recognize everybody. It's Jenny from marketing, it's Joe from the sales team, and then one name catches your eye. Never seen that name before. I wonder who's joining us on this call. Now, if you're like most people, when that happens, you can't help yourself. An overwhelming feeling bubbles up on your insides and you say, who is this person? And you turn into a cross between Nancy Drew and James Bond. And you pull out your phone and you immediately start to Google them. You immediately go into research mode. You're like, who is this person? Why are they joining the meeting? What are they doing here? Everyone does this. And everyone does this not even when it comes to work. They do it when it comes to their everyday life. I encourage you to ask a friend who's single or maybe in the dating pool. Have you gone on a truly blind date where you never looked up anything about that person beforehand? Chances are it's a no. Because even if you're getting set up, even if you're on a dating app, what do? You Google the person you're meeting with. I don't want to meet with a serial killer. I got to Google this person. Who are they? Or if you're already married and you have kids, maybe it's a new babysitter. Are you letting somebody come into your home and watch your tiny humans without Googling them first? Probably not. Again, is this person a serial killer before I let them come over and let them in my house and watch my tiny humans? Probably not. And again, like Keith said, before meetings, everyone is Googling each other. We all do this. It has become second nature. So you might be asking yourself, yeah, Kim, I get it. I Google people before meetings. I Google babysitters, but what does that have to do with LinkedIn? Well, isn't this a leveraging LinkedIn workshop? Most people don't realize that LinkedIn is the oldest social media platform. That's right, LinkedIn is 18 years old, which means it's legally allowed to leave the house and party at college without any of our permission. It's 18 years old, and it is also one of the only social media platforms to be crawled by Google. What does that mean? That means Google reads everything that's happening on LinkedIn. So it's really a 1-2 punch. When you're updating LinkedIn, you're also updating Google. I don't know about you, but I like doing more with less. I'm sort of lazy in that way. So that's why LinkedIn has become my new best friend. I love the 1-2 punch of not only am I updating LinkedIn, but Google is getting all that new information as well. And you might say, well, Kim, okay, I get it. LinkedIn matters. But I'm not kidding. Google and LinkedIn talk to each other. It really matters. And I'm about to show you how. If you, maybe before this meeting today, thought to yourself, now who is this Kim girl? I've never heard of her before. Or maybe I don't know how to pronounce her last name. You might have Googled me. And if you did, this is what you would have found. These are my actual Google results. You can see here that LinkedIn comes up as number 3 on my Google results. So even though I've had numerous awards and accolades like Forbes 30 Under 30, Ad Age 40 Under 40, Inc. 3535, and an appearance on Shark Tank, none of that matters. None of that outranks LinkedIn. LinkedIn will always take page 1 results on Google. It's that powerful of a platform. And you might say, okay, Kim, well, sure, LinkedIn comes up number 3 for you. But it's not just me. And I love this little party trick, and I do this all the time with people, and it's really quite fun. Let's think about some billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires. Billionaires, if you're getting to $1 billion, chances are you've done some pretty remarkable things, not only in business, but probably in life as well. Let's take one of my favorite billionaires, one of the first self-made female billionaires of this century to get there the fastest, my hero, Sarah Blakely of Spanx. Sarah Blakely of Spanx has done amazing things, but what do you think shows up on the page 1 of her Google results? That's right. Number 5 is her LinkedIn. Doesn't matter that she was Times Person of the Year, and it certainly doesn't matter that she was named one of the top 100 interesting people of this century. Nope. Her LinkedIn is showing up number 5 in her Google results, despite all of her many accolades and many accomplishments. And this is not the only billionaire that this happens to. Let's think about a billionaire that recently went to space. I don't know about you, but going to space seems pretty newsworthy these days. Let's look at billionaire Richard Branson. Even Richard Branson, even going to space, launching Virgin Galactic Cruises and his airline. Does that come up? Number 4, my friends, it is LinkedIn. That's right. When you Google Richard Branson, his LinkedIn is coming up number 4 on his Google results. I know, it's shocking. And you can play this game with pretty much anyone. I'm telling you, it's a really good party trick, and it has earned me a lot of street cred at parties. You might be saying, okay, Kim, I get it. LinkedIn's important. I get it. People Google me. My LinkedIn shows up. I can see why you're kind of saying that it matters, and maybe it matters more than I ever thought it did. Okay, I get it. It matters, but how do I do anything about it? How do I affect what comes up about me? Or how do I change and update my LinkedIn profile so that I know that I'm showing up as my best self? Well, Pretty easy, my friends. You have to optimize your profile. This is going to be key as we figure out how to make sure that you show up to your best ability on the platform. I'm going to go over my 5 must-have tips that you have got to get going on your profile if you do nothing else today. We're going to start with the basics. These are the 101, the bread and butter, the PB&J of what you need to do on your LinkedIn to make sure that you are at the bare minimum showing up appropriately on the platform. So number 1 is your banner. You can think of this as free real estate. For most entrepreneurs and leaders out there, once or twice you've listened to the Tim Ferriss podcast. Maybe you listen every week. Maybe you've only heard an episode or 2. And if you've never heard of it, I highly encourage you to at least check it out, at least 1 or 2 episodes. He always asks a question at the end of his podcast interviews to his guests. He says, if you could put anything on a billboard that everyone would see, what would it be? Some of his guests spout out esoteric messages of motivation or self-improvement. This is your chance to kind of be on a Tim Ferriss podcast. This is your banner. What is it saying about you? In this case, with my friend Dan here, you can see that he has listed the top 20 business books that he recommends. When you land on Dan's LinkedIn profile, you immediately know 2 things about Dan. 1, he reads books, so we can tell maybe he's kind of smart. And number 2, he's obviously involved in business in some way, because why else would he have all these business books? You could do anything on your banner. I've seen quotes. I've seen city skylines representing where people are coming in from. Or you can look at my LinkedIn profile banner and see that I promote my weekly meeting every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. on LinkedIn's platform. The banner page is something that you can do whatever you'd like with. There are easy to use tools like Canva, which I'm happy to provide a link to after this, to help you create your own LinkedIn banner. Number 2 is your profile picture. This is so important. A little trick I like to give people is what I call the coffee shop test. What I mean is we've all been there. We're going to meet somebody at a coffee shop. Maybe it's an investor, maybe it's a business meeting, or maybe it's a mentor. And you maybe have never met this person before. So you know their name and you know where they work, but you have no idea what they look like. So on your walk, as you're walking up to the coffee shop, you quickly Google the person. Okay, Dan Chabelle, what does Dan look like? How am I going to meet him in the coffee shop? Whatever your LinkedIn profile picture is, make sure it's clear and crisp and recent enough that people can find you in a coffee shop. That means if you decide to dye your hair blonde or brown, update your picture. If you decide to grow your hair long or short, update your picture. Make sure that people can actually find you in a coffee shop. You also want to make sure that you show your face clearly. This is not Instagram. This is not Facebook. We don't need the full body shot, no matter how glamorous your outfit is. We just need your face, which you can see Dan doing a great job of right here. Number 3 is a brand new feature that I am super excited about. With the last name Kalp, I've heard it all. Koopy, Cop, cow poop, copper. My last name is hard. I get it. Kaupe. I wouldn't know how to say it either. But thanks to this new pronunciation feature on LinkedIn, people can know how to say my last name before they even meet me. All they have to do is click on the speaker icon and they will hear my voice repeating my name to them so that they know exactly how to say it correctly every single time. If you have a hard to pronounce last name or first name, I highly encourage you to turn on this feature. Next up, we have connections. The beauty of the LinkedIn platform is that it only shows up to 500 connections. So unlike Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or Snapchat, the list goes on and on, nobody knows exactly how many connections somebody has. as long as the number is over 500. You could have 501 connections or 5,000 connections. The platform will never know the difference, nor will anyone else who lands on your profile picture. So if you haven't gotten to 500 already, holy moly, I need you to supercharge that and get to 500 as quickly as possible. Now, you might be sitting there going, ooh, Kim, I only have like 250 connections. No worries. Think about people that you used to work with, past internships, heck, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle. There are 500 humans that you know that you can connect with on this platform. But be careful. If you're playing catch up and trying to get to 500 quickly, know that LinkedIn has imposed a 100-person connection limit per week. That means you can only request 100 people per week to connect with. So if you think to yourself, no problem, Kim, I will connect with 300 people while watching Squid Games on Saturday. No, my friend. You're going to want to pace out getting to that 500 number. Stretch it over a couple weeks, maybe only do a few a day, but get to that 500 as quickly as possible. Last but not least is the About section. This is an awesome section for you to talk about yourself, who you are, what you do, everything about you. And don't get me wrong, I have seen some beautiful bios, amazing about pages from founders that have accomplished enormous things. But no one else knows that. Why? Because of this little sneaky button here called See More. That means that displayed when somebody lands on your profile, you only see 3 lines of their About section. I like to think about this like a movie trailer. We've all been in the movie theaters, and my favorite part is the trailers. And when you watch the trailers, you always lean to the person next to you and go, well, that one doesn't look any good, or that one looks amazing. We got to see that one. It's the movie trailer. It's, do you plan on seeing the full picture, the full movie? These 3 lines before that See More button, that's your movie trailer. And we want it to be so captivating, so gripping that people say, now that's a movie that I want to see. And they click that See More button and they see the full extent of your beautiful bio. So remember, those first 3 lines need to be captivating and need to capture that person in a way that says, this Dan guy, I got to read more about him. He looks pretty impressive. Now remember, these are just the basics, and I know I went through them quickly. We only have 45 minutes together. If you're panicking and writing notes, please don't panic. Please don't worry. I wrote down everything I just said and put it into a handy dandy downloadable form for you so that over the weekend or next week, you can work on this with the grace of time on your side. All you have to do is go to helpmylinkedin.com, put in your name and email, and boom, the PDF will be sent to you with everything I just said and little other tips and tricks to help you optimize the basic 101s of your profile. You don't have to thank me. I hate writing notes too. So if I can save you from writing notes, I'm there for you. Now, what we just went over is the basics. It's kind of the 101, if you will. But I know there are some of you out there who are very go-getter and very above the board. And they're like, hey, I'm not just basic. I want to know what the full array is. I want all the choices. I want all the bells and whistles. Kim, I'm ready for the upgrade package. I'm glad you asked, because LinkedIn just debuted a brand new feature last month. That's right, it has been in beta, it's been in private mode for influencers and celebrities, but now it is available to everyone, and that is called Creator Mode. Now, you can turn on Creator Mode easily, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite features of Creator Mode now, but I know you might say, woo, this is moving too fast. Again, don't worry. I created a 15-minute step-by-step tutorial. I mean, literally, I'm telling you where to click. It is very step-by-step. And you can find that on turnoncreatormode.com. Again, save this for later. We're going to go over the highlights now, but I just wanted you to know that it was there. Creator mode is getting a lot of buzz lately because just last month in September of 21, LinkedIn made it available to the public. You might have seen this article in TechCrunch talking about how LinkedIn has dumped $25 million into their algorithm to help support this new creator feature. It's rewarding people that turn this on, and it's getting those people's content out to more individuals. It truly is the age of the supercharged era right now for creator mode on LinkedIn. In fact, here's their editor-in-chief, Dan Roth, further talking about how people can leverage creator mode on the platform. It's the golden era of creator mode on LinkedIn. And I sort of liken this to when you remember back in the day, Facebook and Instagram, they were all the rage. And we can see it with TikTok right now, where people are getting super viral for kind of free. They're not having to pay their way. Whereas on Instagram and LinkedIn, or Instagram and Facebook rather these days, if you want to reach your entire audience or you want to reach a mainstream, it is pay to play, my friend. Gone are the days of free 99. We shall never see them again. But that's not the case on LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn is supercharging the platform, very similar to TikTok, and we're seeing a lot of viral things go out without any paid stuff behind them. So this is the perfect time to get involved in this platform, because I don't know about you, but my favorite marketing price tag is free 99. I want to spend no money and I want to get the most eyeballs on my stuff. So if you are like me, this is going to be true for you. So let's dive into my favorite parts of creator mode and why I think they're going to make such a big difference for you. First up, when you turn on creator mode, your profile will now magically have a talks about section. This talks about section shows people who instantly land on your profile, hey, what's this person all about? I'll use myself as an example. I'm an entrepreneur. I work in marketing, and I like to talk about the future of building your career capital. So it's no surprise that in my talks about section, I have entrepreneurship, marketing, and future. As you can see, Whitney here, she talks about growth, podcasts, and disrupting yourself. For you, it might be copywriting, design, engineering, programming, workouts, whatever it is that you do for work or what your business does, that's what you're probably most likely going to be talking about. So make sure to put that in your talks about section. You get to choose 5 of these, and the good news is you can change them at any time. So if you decide in 6 months that you want to update your talks about section, no problem. With a few clicks, yours will be updated as well. Next up is the follow button. So LinkedIn heard us loud and clear. On other social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, you can follow people without connecting to them. Now you can do the exact same thing on LinkedIn. Why is that important? Because everybody uses LinkedIn differently. There's no right or wrong answer. Historically, there have been 2 camps on LinkedIn. And remember, one is not better than the other. It's just your personal preference. One camp says, connect with everybody, even if it's a stranger, even if they live halfway across the world, even if they have nothing to do what you do. If they connect with you on LinkedIn, automatically accept. We accept everyone. This has pros and cons. Pro, you connect with a lot of people, but most people don't realize the con. LinkedIn caps you out at 30,000 connections, which means once you get to 30,000 connections, that's it, you're done. Everybody after that automatically turns into a follow, even if it's someone that you work with, even if it's a client, even if it's someone that you truly want to connect with. What you would then have to do is go back, unconnect with strangers to reconnect with the people that you actually know. There's pros and cons. There's no right or wrong answer. The second school of thought is to only connect with people that you actually know. people that are in your network, or maybe it's friends of friends, people that you know closely enough that you thought, okay, I want to see your content in my feed. Again, no right or wrong answer. It's sort of a choose your own adventure in that way. The decision is up to you. Last but not least, we have this featured section. You can think about this like a bulletin board. What are the things that you used to put up in the bulletin board around the house? Could be awards, could be accolades, could be white papers, could be sizzle reels, could be press releases. The list goes on and on. The featured section is totally customizable and totally up to you. Now, once again, it's like a choose your own adventure. There's no right or wrong answer, but you can use the featured section in one of two ways. Number one, like Whitney here, you can choose one center focus thing that you want everybody to see right away. She has one featured section, and it is this article that she wrote titled Just Do It. However, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you can see that I've chosen 5 things to feature, and they are on a little carousel. You can choose 5, you can choose 1, you can choose 3. The decision is totally yours. Remember, the featured section is what you want people to see the minute they land on your profile. What do you want people to know about you? What do you want people to read, to watch, to see, to listen to? Whatever that is, put it right here on your featured section. That way it's front and center right away when people land on your LinkedIn profile page. Next up is a new feature called Video Profile. If anybody out there is a Harry Potter fan, you might know about a video profile. That is when an image starts to talk to you a little bit before it goes into a static picture once again. So you can see an example of that on my profile right now or on Dan Schavel's profile. What you'll see when you land on my profile is a little video of me. It'll be silent for about 5 seconds and you'll see me talking. If you say, hey, that's pretty cool, I want to watch that, you can click on it and listen to 30 seconds of me telling you who I am, what I do, and what I'm doing on the platform. The video profile is your choice to use however you want. It's pretty neat, and you can use it to talk about who you are, what you do, or even special projects that you have coming up, or maybe a new feature or a new launch of a business. The 30 seconds is totally yours. Next up is your headline. Headlines have taken on a whole new meaning on LinkedIn. Why? Because headlines are now searchable. That's right. If you put keywords in your headline, that is able to be found by using the LinkedIn search button. That means gone are the days of just putting Kim Kalb, marketing manager. You're so much more than just a marketing manager. Maybe you have a side hustle. Maybe you're a volunteer. Maybe you have an amazing role at a new company. Whatever it is, you can have multiple things in your headline now. As you can see with Dan here, he has best-selling author, manager of workplace intelligence, CEO, and podcaster. You can also look at my profile for an example of what I chose for my headline. Last but not least, we have this new feature called services. Services are also searchable. This is an awesome new feature as LinkedIn has changed its search function to include actionable items. What does that mean? That means if I'm sitting there and I think to myself, I kind of feel like we need a new web design. I'm not really loving the website we have now. You can go to the LinkedIn search bar and search web designer. The results will show you your first, second, and third connections who have the keyword of web designer or have put it in their services section. That way you know, oh, that's right. Jenny designs websites. I totally forgot about her. I should reach out to her and see if she'd be able to help us. You can find people in your network who have updated their services section or updated their profile headline to include these keywords that you think, oh yeah, I can hire these people now. I can ask them for help. I can find them. I can ask them a question. This is going to be key as you leverage the LinkedIn platform in a whole new way. And I know I'm going through this quickly. I can already hear the questions in the back of your mind now. So I just wanted to say, don't worry. I actually would love to walk through this step by step with you. I'm doing a 5-week program where we work on your career capital, where we walk through all of this stuff about LinkedIn, about awards, about accolades, and we do it together. I have good news and bad news. Good news, it's launching right now. Bad news, there's less than 48 hours before the doors close, and I will not be relaunching this program until 2022. So if you'd like to go through this step by step with me together over 5 weeks, I would love to work with you. You can go to careercapitalcourse.com, as you see here, to find more information about the program. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, check it out in the next 48 hours, because I'd love to see you there. Now you might say to yourself, "Oof, Kim, this LinkedIn stuff is a lot. I got a lot to update. I got a lot that I need to do. I got the banner, I got the video profile, I got the pronunciation. This is a lot of work. But once I do the work, how do I know if it's actually working? How can I engage more meaningfully on the platform? I'm going to have all of these bells and whistles, but how do I actually use them? It's great that I have the basics down, but what's next? What's next after we turn on creator mode and after we optimize our profile? Well, it's time to engage on the LinkedIn platform, and it's time to engage in a way that optimizes the time that you spend on the platform and supercharges what you do so that the algorithm and you become best friends. The easiest way I like to do this, because I know you are short on time, is what I call lazy engagement. Lazy engagement looks a little something like this. It means as you're scrolling through your LinkedIn feed, look for opportunities where you can lazily engage. Maybe it's a like, maybe it's a comment. As you can see with my friend Jason here, he is the king of commenting. He finds interesting articles and posts and adds in a comment, adds in his 2 cents. It's an easy way to engage on the platform and let the algorithm know, hey, I'm over here and I'm saying smart stuff too, but in a way that is a low lift and doesn't eat up a ton of your time. I know we've all heard complaints about how much time social media can suck out of your life. So I like to look at the laziest way to do this and how we can show the algorithm we're involved without a ton of work. Likes and comments are a great way to do this. Another great way to do this is to, again, work off of other people's content. What does that mean? It means maybe you don't have time to post blogs or newsletters or videos or even posts on the platform. However, that doesn't give you an excuse not to engage, because you can engage on other people's posts and videos and comments. In this case, I wanted to show you an example that I did from my friend Jim here. Jim posted on an article. He posted his feedback and a little tidbit from his life about how he applies it. I thought to myself, wow, this is a really long article. Jim's obviously read it and posted a really thoughtful synopsis here. How can I leverage what Jim has done? In this case, I added a comment and I added my 2 cents to something that he already posted. And in addition to that comment, I asked a question. I invited a conversation between Jim and I about the post. This is a great way to leverage the platform to show, hey, I'm talking to people, I'm having a good time over here, and I'm posting on smart, thoughtful content. Asking a question is a great way to engage people on the platform. Next up, you can always tag a friend. Let's say you see an interesting post or a video or article. You can say, hey, at Kim or at Jim, wasn't this what we were just talking about last week? Or weren't you also talking to me about the future of work? Or, wow, this is a really interesting point. What do you think about this? Tagging people on the platform is another great way to lazily engage, to show the platform that you're active without necessarily writing a blog post or coming up with your own content. I know sometimes engaging on the platforms can be tough, and you might be saying to yourself, These lazy engagement things are perfect. Kim, it is just the amount of time that I want to spend on the platform. I want to log in for a couple minutes. I want to throw some likes around. I want to throw in a couple comments, and that's pretty much it. That's all I want to do. I would say, okay, that's fine, but you'd be leaving a lot on the table, because when you actually choose to post, that's when you really can get up to the next level. And the posts don't have to be anything super hard. I wanted to show you an example of a post that I did, which I like to call active engagement, actually posting on the platform. If you post on the platform, the engagement that you'll get will be tenfold because you are the one owning the content. As you can see here, I had 11,000 views of this post. It was really me saying that I don't think you need a fancy GPA to necessarily get ahead in the entertainment industry. It was a total opinion. But as you can see, it got engagement on the platform. And the good part is I can see all the engagement and I own it on my account because I was the one that posted it. So actively engaging instead of lazily engaging will get you that much further in the good graces of the platform. And you might say, oh, Kim, well, once again, why does that matter for me? Well, it matters a whole lot because most people don't realize these two insane facts, especially when you can compare them against Facebook and Instagram. That only 3 million users out of the almost 740 million share content on a regular basis. That means if you even just post once a week or once a month, you are instantly in the top 1% of users on the platform. Now, this number for Facebook and Instagram is blown out of the water. There are so many creators on the platform, you almost don't even know what to do with it. There's so much content, it's overwhelming. Same thing with Twitter. But LinkedIn is a rare beast. There are not that many people actually creating content, which means if you do, you are on the fast track to get as many eyeballs as possible. And I wanted to make sure to call out this point because I really think that people miss this a lot. That means that when you look at the total eyeballs that LinkedIn gets, which is 9 billion eyeballs a month on the platform, those 9 billion eyeballs are only going to the 1% that are actually creating content. That means that 9 billion eyeballs don't have a ton of choices like they do on Instagram. They don't have a ton of choices like they do on Twitter. They don't have a ton of choices like they do on Facebook. The options are in the hands of the creators who actually choose to create on this platform. And I want to show you, I love being transparent about what this actually means. So let's look at my statistics year to date. I post pretty regularly on LinkedIn, which means I'm garnering some of those billion eyeballs. So as you can see, year to date, I've captured almost 1.5 million impressions on the platform. Those impressions go to me, my business, the projects I'm working on, and guess how much I paid for those? Absolutely nothing. Free 99, $0. I encourage you today to go on other social media platforms and see what it would cost for you to access 1.5 million impressions, because I guarantee you our good friend Mark Zuckerberg is not going to let you do that for free. He's going to make you pay for it. And I know sometimes you might be saying, okay, Kim, I got it. Creating content equals dollars, creating content equals eyeballs. Yep, sold. Where do I start? Again, no problem. I'm glad you asked. You can go to kickstartmycontent.com and I've jam-packed free resources for you to kickstart your content posting on the platform. The tips and tricks of what works, and also how to think about, well, what exactly do I post and how do I post it and what the heck would I talk about? So you can go to kickstartmycontent.com and you can register for this content guide to be sent directly to you. I know it can seem like a lot, but I promise you these micro movements can supercharge your LinkedIn in a way that you have never seen before. It is the perfect time to get engaged on this platform. It's the perfect time to turn on creator mode, and it's the perfect time to start posting content. We're in the golden era where LinkedIn is investing heavily in this algorithm. The good news, now's the time. The bad news, it's not going to last forever. My personal prediction is probably by late 2022, maybe even early 23 if we're lucky, LinkedIn will go the way of Facebook and Instagram and turn into a pay-to-play platform. The golden era is short, but it's there if you're ready to capture it. Hopefully, the resources and tips and tricks I've provided are helpful. Again, if you missed that earlier one, the 5 fast tips are on helpmylinkedin.com and also turnOnCreatorMode.com. Good news and bad news is, again, the platform is always changing, which means there's constantly going to be updates in what's happening. And I would like to keep you updated if that's okay with you. I also would love to keep learning from each other. So every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we meet and we grab coffee together, you and me. You can go to getcoffeewithkim.com and see the full schedule because it's not just you and me. I bring in interesting founders, leaders, executives, people that you want to say, wait a second, I want to have what they're having. We learn from them, we figure out what's working, we copy all of their homework, and we apply it to our everyday lives. I'd love to see you there on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can go to getcoffeewithkim.com to learn more about that. And I also want to know, was this helpful for you? Did this answer the questions that you had about LinkedIn? I'm a sucker for feedback. I know it's awful, but I really want to help you. And I want to make sure that I'm teaching things that are going to take you to the next level. So if you can do me a solid, if you found this at all helpful, please go to feedbackforkim.com and fill out a quick, I'm telling you, it's like 2 minutes, a super quick survey about which parts of this presentation you found most helpful and where you might want to learn a little more about LinkedIn. I promise it is 2 minutes. It's in type form. It's beautiful. And if you found any value of this, you could think about it as your good deed for the day to help a fellow founder and fellow entrepreneur on her journey. I hope you get started on the LinkedIn platform. I hope it is something that you can leverage to advance your career and to move your business forward. I have time for a couple of questions, but I get it. Not everybody has questions off the top of their head, especially when I just kind of dumped a lot on you. Your questions might come up when you're running or when you're in the shower later. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm at Kim Kalb on all the social media platforms. It's a perk of having a really weird last name. You always get it on all the social media platforms. So if you have a question and you don't have it ready to go right here in the comments, if you do, bonus, put it in the comments and we can answer it right now. But if you don't, you can always ask me later on the social media platform of your choice. In this case, I put a little Instagram thing, but I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on all the platforms under Kim Kalb, so you can always find me there. I'm so happy that you found this helpful today, and I hope that in the future you will leverage the platform to your best of your abilities. Now, let's see if there are any questions. And if there aren't, again, no worries. You can ask me later. Besides creator mode, what is your best advice for someone that wants to become a content creator on the platform? This is a great question because it really focuses on how do you add value. At the end of the day, I always like to use this saying. We want to serve, we don't want to self-promote. So I would say that you can use the platform to serve others your knowledge and your wisdom. It doesn't always have to be self-promoting. It can be, hey, here's a business book that I found really helpful this week. And here are 3 of my biggest takeaways. Or, hey, this was a really great podcast I just listened to. And if you're a product manager, you're going to want to listen to it too. There are things that you experience in your everyday life that would probably help somebody else. In fact, they probably help somebody else a whole lot. But if you don't share them, how are you supposed to help anybody? So you can think about creating on the platform as a way to serve instead of a way to self-promote. So hopefully that is easy. Next up, the next question is, should your banner on your LinkedIn profile be company-based or personal-based? Again, there's sort of no right or wrong answer here. It can be whatever you like. Personally, I always like to invest in you and your career capital instead of the company. Now, there's an exception if you are a founder or you're CEO, because your career is the company. However well the company does is how well you do. But if you work for a corporate company, Bank of America, a Siemens, a Wells Fargo, then I would say invest in yourself. Use that banner space for you instead of the company. Because remember, you might not be at the company forever. We want to make sure we're investing in you for the long haul. So I would use that banner for your space, not necessarily the company's. Should we still be posting regularly on our own pages if we're an early career professional? Absolutely. I am a firm believer that you can add value no matter how young you are in your career. For example, I've seen people straight out of college totally school older people when it comes to social media, when it comes to looking at problems in a new way, when it comes to the future of work. Your youth gives you a competitive advantage. You've grown up with things that older people haven't grown up with. You can absolutely add your own spin and your own take to things that are happening. You can say, here are 3 ways to how I think brands are not using TikTok effectively, or here are 3 new computer programs that most people aren't talking about. Your youth gives you a competitive advantage because you're seeing things for the first time. You're also looking at problems for the first time. So solutions to you might be a little out of the box compared to others who have been in the field for a really long time. Not to mention that there are other people coming up behind you. If you're 1 or 2 years out of university, there's somebody who's a senior going, how did they get that job? Or how did they manage to do that? You can be the voice for those people coming up behind you. Your age should absolutely not stop you from posting your value and your know-how on the LinkedIn platform. Should college students be on LinkedIn? Absolutely. I think college students should be on LinkedIn. I think they should be connecting to internships, apprenticeships, and finding mentors on the platform. I think this is a great resource if you have younger people in your life, nieces, nephews, kids. You should be encouraging all of them to start leveraging this platform sooner rather than later. How do you sign up so you can help me is a great question. Greg, you can go to, let's put it back on screen. You can go to careercapitalcourse.com. I'd be happy to have you look at that program and talk a little bit more about it so that I can help you in a one-on-one setting. So I would say go to careercapitalcourse.com, and that way we can find each other, and hopefully I can give you a little bit of help about how to leverage the platform. And then you can also go to helpmylinkedin.com, and that should also give you some fast, fun tips. Should you be careful about who you engage with on LinkedIn, comments and reactions, since all of your activity is served to your followers' feed? Yes and no. If you have not turned on creator mode, your activity still shows up on your profile picture. Like in that early example, which I'll pull back up again, of Jason, where he had not turned on his creator mode, and we could see that he was liking and commenting on things. So we can see that Jason commented and liked things because he does not have creator mode turned on. However, if you do have creator mode turned on, then this no longer shows up. creator mode no longer shows activity that you do on the platform. Instead, it only shows things that you yourself post. So the answer is twofold. If you have not turned on creator mode, you should absolutely be careful about what you are commenting on and interacting with, because employers or connections or other people can see it. However, if you do have creator mode on, you can maybe sleep a little more soundly, although you still probably shouldn't be posting anything problematic in the first place, but you could sleep a little more soundly knowing that people can't exactly see what you're liking, what you're commenting on, the stuff that you're doing. So I always say also, like, if you're looking for a new job, creator mode could be a great thing to turn on, because if you are commenting on maybe a future employer's things or a competitor or maybe somewhere else you want to work, nobody can see it because it's not showing up on your profile. So I would say that could be a really great tip. Are there some LinkedIn creators that inspire you? Holy moly, I feel like I'm inspired by so many creators on the platform. There are people that are just putting out a ton of really helpful tips and tricks and content on the platform. So it's a laundry list, which kind of makes me think this inspired me for a new LinkedIn post. I think I'm going to do a LinkedIn post where I tag people that inspire me with their content on the platform. So thank you for that, Giacomo, because I am going to do that. And so also, shameless plug, if we haven't connected on LinkedIn, please connect with me on there so that when I do make this post, you'll be able to see who all my favorite creators are on the platform. So that looks like that's the end of the questions, but I know, again, there are probably people out there who are like, oh, I might have a question later, or things that come up. Don't worry. Again, there we go. You can say hi to me over at Kim Kalp. I'm Kim Kalp on all the social platforms. Again, that's Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions that you have about leveraging the platform. So absolutely, if you thought this was helpful, click the like button, add a comment, let me know, maybe send a little feedback for Kim, shameless plug, but throw a like on here. And if you thought it was helpful, listen, send it to a friend. I'm not trying to be mean, but we all have friends who maybe don't look so hot on the platform. And you want to be the type of friend that tells another friend when they have food in their teeth. You want to be like, oh, it's a little spinach right here. You just want to get that out. So you kind of want to tell a friend, saw your LinkedIn profile, little spinach, might want to fix a few things on there. Send this on over to them, or send them to helpmylinkedin.com, or send them to turnoncreatormode.com, or send them to kickstartmycontent.com so that they can, fix up their stuff a little bit. So it has been so much fun. I want to thank Capital Factory for having me on with them today. And I want to thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope to connect with you very soon.